You know how everywhere you turn on the internet you see an advert of some sort talking about the benefits of beef tallow for skin and even for cooking? Well, I decided to make my own and decided to show you how. Welcome to Ebitimi TV. In today's video, I'm rendering beef fat from scratch to make nourishing whipped beef tallow balm that's great for your skin. I'll walk you through every step from trimming the fat to whipping it into a creamy blend, so let's get into it. In a previous video, I bought some beef fat from the butchers and I showed you guys, and I told you in that video that I would carry you along when I start to make the beef tallow. So here is the video as promised. First, I started with beef suet. This is the fat surrounding the kidneys and it's the best kind for skincare, they say. I chopped it into small pieces to help it render more evenly. If you can get your butchers to help you grind it, this step will be skipped. I'm using my Dutch oven cast iron pot because it's oven safe and I want a slow or gentle cook. The video I watched on YouTube, the person used a crock pot. I don't have a crock pot, but I have this Dutch oven, so I figured I could use that and it worked perfectly. Tallow contains fatty acids that are structurally similar to the lipids in human skin, making it incredibly nourishing. It helps strengthen and repair the skin barrier, reducing dryness, flakiness, and sensitivity. So one of the benefits of beef tallow for skin is that it acts as a skin barrier support. Tallow is a natural source of vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Vitamin A helps with cell turnover and skin repair. Vitamin D has anti-inflammatory properties and healing properties as well. Vitamin E is an antioxidant and it's moisturizing. Vitamin K helps reduce dark circles and supports wound healing. So we can say it's good for scars. Tallow Balm has a comedogenic rating of 2, which is considered low and safe for most skin types. This simply means that it won't clog your pores. It is particularly good for dry, aging, and sensitive skin. Thanks to its natural nutrient profile, tallow can reduce inflammation, calm eczema, soothe rosacea, and even help with acne-prone skin when used with non-pore clogging oils. Beef tallow balm is naturally antimicrobial. Tallow contains small amounts of conjugated linoleic acid, which has been shown to have antibacterial and antifungal effects. Tallow is occlusive, meaning it seals in moisture and protects the skin from environmental stressors like wind, pollution, and cold weather. It's great as a night balm or a full body moisturizer. Do you know beef tallow is also great for cooking? It has high smoke point, which makes it ideal for frying and roasting without producing harmful free radicals. It is nutrient dense, rich in healthy saturated fats that support brain and hormone health, especially when you use the grass-fed beef tallow. It is flavorful and stable, adds a rich natural flavor to food, and is shelf stable when properly rendered. So, people are raving about beef tallow again, not just because of nostalgia or tradition, but because it works with our body's biology. It provides deep restorative moisture. It is clean, simple, and free from synthetic chemicals. It can replace lotions, creams, and even some serums. Some concerns people might have about using beef tallow that I have seen or read about is that it smells like beef. I agree, absolutely. But there are ways to combat that downside, and if you render the beef tallow properly, the smell is not that strong. And I observed that because I made a big batch, so I had to store some in the fridge just to prevent the tallow from going rancid. So what I can say about the smell is that after a while in the fridge, it doesn't really have that smell anymore. I don't know what it is, but yeah, that happens. And then you can also add essential oils that agree with your skin type to the balm, and you'll be good. At least that has worked for me so far. One more thing, people assume that it will clog your pores because it's an oil, but so far I can say it doesn't clog your pores. It sinks right into your skin, and initially when you put it on, it looks a bit shiny, a bit greasy, but just give it time and it just seeps right into your skin, and it nourishes your skin so beautifully. Your skin will be so soft and supple. Thank you for watching to this point. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, like the video, and share to anyone you think might find it useful. And please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about beef tallow. I'm curious. I added salt to help extract any impurity in the beef fat, and I also added a lot of water too. Even though I later discovered that salt wasn't that necessary, especially if you're using it topically. At this point, it had been in the oven for about 4 hours with temperature set at 100 or 120 degrees Celsius. So this was 4 hours later. I had to put it back for another 4 hours to arrive at the next stage. This was 8 hours later, and I was sieving it here. So I sieved it with a cheesecloth in a stainless steel strainer, and I put it in a stainless steel bowl and then put it in the fridge overnight. Sorry, I couldn't film all those parts. I put it in the fridge overnight, and then the fat solidified on top. I brought it out, scraped the bottom part to remove any debris or residue that wasn't part of the real fat, and then I repeated the rendering process. So I cut the large chunk into smaller bits, put it back in the oven with some water and a bit of salt again, and then repeated the process. It melted completely again. I strained it, solidified it in the fridge, brought it back out. At this point it was clean. So I now melted it on the stove top on very low heat. I did that for a while just to make sure all the water bubbles on the side dries up completely. When I wasn't seeing those little bubbles around the oil again at the side of the pot, then I realized it was completely dry, because it's essential that you get rid of all the water if you want your tallow to last long. So that was what I did. And then when it was melted, I put it back in the fridge just for a short while to solidify. Meanwhile, before I did that, I added olive oil to it and some castor oil as well. That would help with the creaminess and just help it whip even better. So with those oils, I put it in the fridge for a little bit and then brought it back out, and then the whipping began. Thankfully, I was able to capture this moment. So I went ahead to start whipping. I used my stand mixer to whip it nicely. This process was really satisfying to watch. It looked just like whipped cream. I really loved this entire process, and it was tempting to actually taste it, but no, I didn't. So a link to this stand mixer would be in my description box. Yeah, so that was what I did. I whipped it till it became really nice and fluffy. You know, you can also make your tallow balm without this whipping process and it will be as nice. Maybe the texture will be different, not maybe, yeah, the texture will be different, but it's still good. Some people actually prefer when it's not whipped, but I like it. I like that it's soft. The skin absorbs it better, in my opinion. I haven't tried the other one, so I cannot really compare and contrast, but I like the whipped version and the idea of it too. So yeah, if you would rather not whip your tallow balm, the only thing you would need is your other oils to mix with it. When you have gotten rid of all the water, you add in your other oil and straight away you put it in your jar that you would like to store it in an airtight jar, and that's it, it's ready. Some people have a few concerns about beef tallow, one of which is that they feel like it's unsanitary or it's unsafe. When rendered correctly, tallow is very stable and safe for topical use. The key is removing all moisture and storing it in a clean, airtight container. For me, even though some people feel like using salt to purify it might not be the best for skin, but I haven't had any issues with it. I feel that's another step that helps to purify the tallow. And also ensure to remove all the moisture and then store in an airtight container. For people who might have ethical concerns, well, I think beef tallow is often a byproduct of the meat industry, so for some, it's a sustainable use of waste. But it's not plant-based, so it won't align with everyone's values. Some persons might be concerned about the tallow causing a reaction, but tallow is generally well tolerated and actually helps with eczema, rosacea, and dryness. But of course, like with every other thing that is new to you, a patch test is still recommended. Some people may react to add-ins like essential oils more than the beef tallow itself. So whatever you're adding to it, ensure that it's something that agrees with your skin, or better still, do a patch test. Some people feel like it's old-fashioned and outdated. Yes, that's the point. Tallow was a traditional skincare staple for centuries. It's making a comeback because it's simple, effective, and free from synthetics. To mask the natural beefy smell, I added a few drops of frankincense essential oil. It really helped tone down the scent and gave the balm a beautiful, calming aroma. And here is my homemade whipped beef tallow balm. Silky, nutrient rich, and ready to use. So, was it worth it? Would I be doing it again? My answer? Absolutely. Not only was this a fun DIY, but it also gave me a clean, nourishing product I can feel good about using on my skin and even sharing with others. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you would try making this yourself, or if you've already jumped on the tallow trend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.